And welcome back. As the school year ends and summer's actually beginning, kids and teens, well, they can finally unplug and reset. Summer camps like those organized by the Union for Reform Judaism offer more than just outdoor fun. They provide spaces for young people to build confidence, form friendships, and then also develop community, as well as learning empathy and kindness. And joining me now to discuss this is the Vice President of Camps at the Union for Reform Judaism, Ruben Arquilevich, and we thank you so much for being with us, Ruben.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here to discuss something so important to all of us.
Well, you know, summer's that respite for students. They're really looking forward to the opportunity to get outdoors, but at the same time, be outside that non-academic environment, and you do that. You provide an opportunity for students to be able to have a camp experience that is somewhat different than the traditional.
We do, absolutely. We end up serving 12,000 youth and young adults in these immersive, really unbelievably nurturing, kind, sacred environments.
How do you go about preparing for this season?
So we have an incredible team of professionals and volunteers who spend all year preparing for this season, training, coaching, orienting hundreds and hundreds of our staff to create a world of kindness and compassion and empathy and care for the thousands of youngsters whose lives we help shape and who help shape our lives.
And when we talk about shaping lives, you're shaping lives in a way that really deals with emotional, mental, psychological. And when you do that, that part right now in this day and age, very key, very crucial. I mean, we're living in the midst of war, rumors of war, a whole lot of things that are out there, but yet and still you settle students down in a way that allows them to really be able to be at peace and live at peace.
Absolutely. It's one of the great gifts of camp. And I believe that our world and our young people and from our children, our teens, our young adults, the adults, the parents themselves, we all need camp. Camp is such a healing experience. And one of the main terminologies we use for all this is MESH: mental, emotional, social, spiritual health and wellness. And we create that peaceful communities of belonging, nurturing, care, and healing, which can really be an incredible antidote to so much of what everyone is dealing with in the world these days. And especially young people have so many pressures in their lives, academic pressures, extracurricular pressures. When they come to camp, we look at every child and every young adult literally with these incredible Jewish values of, in Hebrew, it's B'Tselem Elohim. It's the idea that everyone is created in a divine image, all human beings. And we are really looking at just the heart and soul of every person, not what kind of grades they got during the year, not how well they did in their sporting event or their extracurricular arts event. It's really diving into the shared humanity of us all. And camp creates that unbelievable spiritual oasis for everybody.
Well, I know the word diversity isn't a hot word these days, but I know that part of your camp honors that really diversity and diversity in a special way. Talk to me about that component.
Absolutely. Regardless of what the rest of the world is saying about this, that is one of our essential core values, to create as big of a big tent environment as possible, to welcome everybody, regardless of race, even though our camps are Jewish, regardless of religion, regardless of faith. Certainly our camps are places of living, breathing Jewish values. But we are there to welcome young people, children, teens, and adults from all backgrounds. And the terminology we embrace and we love is ready. So racial diversity, inclusion, and equity. And it is something that is core to who we are and what we do every moment. It's a core value that drives everything that we do.
Yeah. Diversity is definitely in order, and it should still always be on the table. One of the things that is uncommon, if you will, is your camp has a unique approach. Jonathan Haidt writes this book. It's called The Anxious Generation. Talks about how so many of our young people are linked into technology and the harmful effects of technology and the way that it goes. And it's being so connected. You've got something where you're talking about really being unplugged and unplugging campers from technology, doing something in a different direction, and taking that creative energy and putting it in a different kind of place.
Absolutely, it's another incredible gift and blessing of having young people and everybody around them spend 2, 4, 8 weeks away, immersed 24/7 in these incredible communities of belonging, where they're interacting face to face. And there is just no substitute for creating community, creating friendship, creating lifelong bonds. And there's something that happens when thousands of people come together to live in these communities 24/7. They end up sharing each other's stories, their yearnings, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their anxieties. They can build really deep relationships and really empathize with each other through vulnerability and being together. And while certainly the world of Zoom and technology allows for some important interaction all the time, we also know that it's a source of strain and stress. At camp, unplugging from the 24/7 iPhone and instead plugging into each other's hearts and souls and into the sky and into the beauty of people being together in community, celebrating the best of life.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said for when you can spend that kind of time. You can spend that kind of time. There's two things that happen. Number one, as you talk about, there's that community aspect, but then also the opportunity for that person, that individual, really to find their identity. Because sometimes you're scrolling through in hopes of trying to identify or self-identify. But the reality is that here it is. You can identify, find out your identity, create a better identity in spaces and places such as a camp like yours. And so I want to hear from you about that, because when people leave from your experience, what is some of the takeaways that you're hearing from people who are involved in camp?
Absolutely. Well, one of the biggest takeaways I've heard for decades in this work is that when our young people, including our young adults, spend their summers and their years in our URJ camps, there's this line they always use, and the line is that we fell in love. And what I mean by that is they say we fell in love with our Jewish identity again. Camp is a place where, by providing this nurturing, joyful, living Jewish environment, it immediately creates a deep love and connection to identity, as you were talking about. And we also started the conversation talking a little bit about how campers and staff discover and celebrate their best selves. And so we think about our best selves for our camps. The core mission is this Jewish journey, and how this Jewish journey helps strengthen not only Jewish life, but all of humanity, the whole world. And so for these young people to come to camp and really lean into discovering their best self and discovering and rediscovering and embracing and loving their Jewish identity, their Jewish heritage, and how that to the rest of the world is an unbelievable gift, and it's at the heart of our purpose, our mission.
If someone asks you, what's a typical day like, or what's, and I know all camps are different, but there are some core components. What's a day like in the life of a camper?
So it depends on the age group, but I would say basically, kids wake up anywhere from, I would say 7 to 8 o'clock, except maybe the first couple of mornings where the little kids get up at sunrise, and counselors, of course, just love that. Groups of campers and staff will wake up, and many times they'll go and have like a morning song or two, some prayer, some worship, some gratitude for the sun rising and the sky being blue. Then they'll go down and have breakfast. Meals are a big part of camp. It's 3 hours a day of hundreds, if not thousands, of people being together in these incredibly beautiful, dynamic dining hall experiences. The kids will have a nutritious, enjoyable meal. The meal is usually also filled with what we call ruach, which means spirit, singing, prayers, a lot of social interaction. And then there'll be usually 2 or 3 hours of different activities. They could be social, cultural, recreational, everything from hiking and nature to the arts, to sports, science, technology, the arts, all sorts of recreational, social, cultural activities. Then the groups will go and have lunch. Following lunch, camp groups usually will go have what's called a rest hour. They'll go take an hour or so and just relax in their cabins, take a nap, read a book. Followed by, again, another few hours of activities in the afternoon. Many times that'll include swimming when it's warmer. Then followed by dinner. And then after dinner is usually group program activities. It could be a talent show. It could be a campfire. It could be a scavenger hunt. And weave throughout there is some opportunities for reflection, meditation, prayer, worship, and then groups end up the evening with what we call closing circles, where groups can really set and express gratitude for the day, get ready for the evening and the night, have a wonderful night's sleep, and then get ready to do the magic all over again.
Awesome. And the takeaway, what do you feel students take away after having this experience?
The takeaways are profound friendships, profound mentors and new heroes in their lives, people who, because of that summer experience, will be on their journey through life. Another takeaway is a reinvigorated pride in oneself, in our tradition, in our heritage, in our faith, and in our values. And another big takeaway is optimism and resilience. When people's souls are filled up in this way, they're more prepared to go back into the rest of the world and be kinder, empathetic, caring people working for more justice and equity, and more love and sustainability in the world.
For somebody that's out there saying, listen, I know summer's already upon us. Maybe I can get my child in. Maybe I can get my youngster in. Is there still time on the clock?
There is. Some of our camps are at capacity, and some of our camps still can accommodate more youth. And I certainly encourage any parents, grandparents, anybody out there who's interested to reach out, and we can begin the conversation and go from there.
Ruben Arquilevich, has been great having you, and really, honestly, great work that's going on, really helping young people unpack life at a very critical time. And I think everybody needs to unplug and get away. You're providing that for your students and those who are your campers, and I salute you for it, because it's definitely much needed in a time like this. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All righty. Well, we want to let you know, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at urj.org.